Jim Mimiaga did do a good article that captured most of the changes. Things are mostly as routine as last year's, but a couple of updates. Statewide, 2018, they passed a new bill. All registered boats are gonna need a new stamp. In-state, $25, out-of-state, $50. That's gonna fund about half the aquatic nuisance species inspections around the whole state, the other half coming from severance taxes, occasionally general fund. Other than that, Colorado still has no adult mussel infestations. We still have a concern at Green Mountain. Nothing has shown up since some genetic testing, and they're monitoring it closely. We hope that one will pass in a few years and be cleared. Third, we're up to 197 infested boats intercepted since the program began in '09.
Is that here, just here?
In the state.
Okay.
In 2017, 26 boats intercepted. Last year, 51. 2 already this year. The press release said 1 as of about March. We caught one last week headed towards Navajo on 160. As you might guess, most of those, 40, are coming from Powell last year. So I did have a handout. They do periodically revise all sorts of data on their mussel program. That's the one about interceptions. Very few states do not have a problem. Right now on the books is New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, and the Columbia Basin. Montana on the east side has some problems, South Dakota, North Dakota. All around us, all the local states. So the boaters do travel, and Powell is our closest threat. So the best thing, and the boaters have been great about this, clean, drain, and dry. Right here, we have a great boating community. And of course they go out to Powell, but they all know the risks to their own boat and their own waters. They come home, they clean, drain, and dry their boats. And still, we're gonna keep the inspections on the lake. We cannot afford this. So Utah is still our concern, but all the other states, Oklahoma, Texas. Utah, luckily, is mostly about Powell. Kansas, Nebraska, all have infestations. And if you do follow this on the web, Texas and some of the bigger states, about once a week, will have a new report because they do not have the program, and once it's in, it spreads pretty quickly. With that, one minor change in the other boating. Exempt boats are always a concern in the sense that people want to get out there and recreate. We don't want to stop them. That's what Tom's job is. So right now, exempt boats are hand-launched, hand-powered boats. The big change is no electric trolling motors. So you can have an exempt canoe or an exempt raft or some such, but you can't put a trolling motor on it. It does tend to carry some water and some other potentials. So anyway, we're being a little cautious. That's a change this year. So we're watching that one. Locally, our partners are San Juan National Forest, Reclamation, and the Water Conservancy partner up to pay for those inspections with CPW. House Creek and McPhee are open. McPhee's already open. House Creek's opening in May. House Creek runs through September. 4 days a week, Friday through Monday at House Creek through September 30th. McPhee is open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week already. Come May 1st, it'll be 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. And then September 23rd through October 31st, back to 8 to 6, 10-hour days. And of course, we do like to provide inspections on the way out. That gives you a faster entry, shows that you've been there and been inspected. But if you do need to stay on the water and have a good time, we do have the gate system that lets you out. So not every boat's inspected on the way out. With that, 2018 was a tough year all around in our community. Low water, fires, smoke. Tourism took the hit, farmers took the hit, everybody had a tough time. Good news, lots of snow, gonna fill the reservoir, we have the water, let's just knock on wood and say we're not going to have the forest fires. So we expect an increase. Last year is about a 20% hit from 2017. Went from a little over 5,000 entry inspections down to about 4,000, about 20% hit. So we hope those will come up with the good water. With that, I think we've gone over 2019 hours. We still are trying to talk to the county about an update. One of our concerns, Road X, we want to keep that open for recreation. On the same hand, we don't want any uninspected launches. So because of the high water, we'll monitor that closely and work with the county. Beyond that, let's all enjoy a good summer, have a good time, and protect ourselves for the future. Tom and I can answer questions if you have any.
One of the things I'd like to add is we've had discussions about other bodies of water, like Powell having a more robust inspection to help protect us. Powell, especially on the Utah and as well as the Arizona side, has increased their inspections, which will help us. However, it's not a complete 100% inspection there. Plus, we have boats coming in from other infected waters, so we still feel as though locally we need to maintain this inspection program, even though it's not a moneymaker for anyone. It's protecting some of our resources, not only for irrigation, but for municipal systems like the city of Cortez. So we will maintain this inspection program and continue to build it as we can.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. I had a question. Do they see an increase in Utah and Arizona as of late, like in the past couple of years with mussel infestation? Or is it kind of tapered off? Is it something that they're still seeing an increase in there?
That's an interesting question, and what I watched around Utah, because we do monitor, and luckily the states do try and coordinate some information as best they can. Utah is somewhat cordoned off Powell from all their lakes in the Salt Lake area. Utah Lake, Strawberry, their whole central Utah system. And so far they've done a good job, and I have not heard of any new infestations in Powell. As to Arizona, they actually have quite a few. The whole Colorado system and the central Arizona system down through Phoenix and Tucson is fully infested, and a little bit of the Salt River project. I want to say it's Lake Pleasant, if I'm correct. So they've kind of tightened up, and they're trying to limit it, but once they're in a connected water, there are difficulties. Right. So beyond that, I'm not familiar with the recreation. So
Two special awards, and we also won the same thing at regionals. We have raised about $5,500 for registration, and we about $4,500 left for travel, lodging, and food.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, the reason we need all that is because of when we're traveling, there's a lot of gas money and food money to keep us, eating. And lodging costs a lot up there because they know this is happening, so they raise their festival. And that's basically why we need the remaining money we have. We've already paid for our registration, so we're just getting
stores all our props and scenes. And the cool thing about DI is that you don't have any adult help. The only help that adults give is either prestiging to other higher tiers in tournaments or going to get supplies for the games. Our team has come up with every idea and every supply that we need for our skit. And we hope that you will help us on our way to Kansas, Missouri for the goals.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure, thanks.
Any questions? Sorry.
Have you approached the Dolores-Town Board for donations?
Yes, we have.
And,
The meeting is after yours. The meeting is after yours. They're supposed to load it later, so we will be going there, but it just falls after.
okay.
And we are the only teams representing the Southwest region. There's two of us, us and Pagosa Springs, and that's it, coming from this region.
Are there any other questions?
Did you all in the Dolores area?
I live in a few of us, three of us live in the Cortez area, and three of us live in the Dolores area. Yes, but we all go to the same school.
I understand that. Thank you.
Council? If there are no other questions or comments, may I have a motion, please?
Is this something we motion?
Do we need to motion this?
No.
No, it's not it's a presentation. We don't need a motion.
Okay. Well, we had a conversation during the work session, and in the past, we have had groups from communities outside of Cortez that have come to ask for donations, and in the past, we have not done so simply because we believe that City of Cortez, City Council should be supporting those student organizations that come from this municipality. We wish you luck. We applaud the work and the time and the effort that you have put into organizing your program and the level of success that you've already had at the lower two divisions. We suspect that you will do very well. But at this time, the city is not in a position to be able to make a contribution to a youth organization that basically is outside of the Cortez city limits.
I did have a question. I noticed in the information that you sent to Linda, there was a GoFundMe link. How would we locate, what is it listed under if we wanted to find that to do individual contributions?
I can actually, I'm one of the parents, I can actually provide that to them.
Okay, perfect. I think that would be a good way to maybe get some funding that, maybe the board can't consent to, but that individuals could.
Yeah, thank you, we appreciate that. We
Sure.
have reached out to all of our members in the community. We also understand that being such a small community, that it's quite often.
Sure.
there is support.
Have you contacted anybody from the paper to ask them to do a write-up on your students? Good, good. Okay, so there will be something in the paper? And you'll put the GoFundMe information there as well?
And
I'm still from the old generation, I still get the paper.
I hope you guys understand, we don't take these decisions lightly. None of us like turning down bright, young, ambitious kids reaching for their dreams. So please don't think that this is something that is just, somewhat arbitrary on our part. It's a very tough decision for us. And like the mayor said, we do wish you as much luck as we can. in your endeavors. You know, the term is pound the flesh, right? Just get out there and knock on doors in the greater Dolores area, right? And try to get them to support you guys to the best of their ability. I think that's a great way, grassroots effort to get the community, your community behind you, so.
I do have something to add, so when I did email Linda, I didn't see the following email, so it should already be available.
The GoFundMe information was there, okay.
Not only should be available on.
Okay, we'll double check that then.
Thank you, if not, I can resend it.
Okay, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, the next item is Drinking Water Week proclamation. Is somebody going to present that, or am I just?
Phil,
Phil,
you're up.
Did you want to?
Hey, Waterman.
Nice of you to join us.
Yeah.
So this is the, last year and this year again, we went through and we did the Drinking Water Week. And what we'd like to do is start participating in the American Public Works Week. This is the same one?
Drinking Water Week, May the 5th through the 11th?
We did that last council meeting. This is supposed to be the, wasn't it?
No, we.
We didn't do that? Okay, my bad. Okay, forgive me. Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council, good evening. I'm thinking about two different proclamations. I had a discussion at length this afternoon with Donna about the Public Works Week. This is the American Water Works Association. It's the Drinking Water Week. We participated in it last year. Again, there are over 110 agencies in the country that are participating, material suppliers as well as drinking water providers and contract organizations, 19 of which are in Colorado. So this would be another, this would be our second year to participate, and it dovetails in with the work we've been doing with the conservation plan as well as the VCAPS program or report.
Well, I will read the proclamation. City of Cortez proclamation Drinking Water Week, May the 5th through the 11th of 2019. Whereas water is our most valuable natural resource, and whereas only tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and the quality of life we enjoy, and whereas any measure of a successful society, low mortality rates, economic growth and diversity, productivity, and public safety, are in some way related to access to safe water, and whereas we are all stewards of the water infrastructure upon which future generations depend, and whereas each citizen of the City of Cortez is called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution, to practice water conservation, and to get involved in local water issues by getting to know their water. Now therefore, be it resolved that by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the City of Cortez, and in such capacity, I, Karen W. Sheik, do hereby proclaim May the 5th through the 11th, 2019 as Drinking Water Week in the City of Cortez, and I encourage the citizens of this great community to learn how to protect and preserve our water source and to ensure that we have sustainable water supply for the future. And I have signed this. And do you want to take it back to the office, or should we put it on display here in the reception area of City Hall?
Whatever you want to do. Right? Well, the last one we put up at the service center, but doesn't matter to me.
You know what?
Cheers, Phils.
I think we should put it on the desk.
Is this safe?
People come in to pay their water bill so they can see it.
That's not, yes, I agree, but that, no. The bottled water, no, our water is way better.
So shall I just say this then and give it to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. And just as additional information to the audience, we have a captive audience here. The city has launched a quite extensive water conservation program. We have a link on the city's website. We had two guest speakers come and talk about water-wise landscaping here at City Hall last night. If you were not able to attend, you can actually go into the city archives on the city's website and look at it. The folks did a wonderful job talking about ways that we can plant water-wise landscapes that still are attractive. There will also be a number of links and resources available on that section of the city's website to help citizens inform themselves about water conservation and to become more knowledgeable about what each of us can do to protect this precious resource. So, all right, public hearings are the next, citizen participation, sorry. Is there a citizen that would like to address council at this time? All right, public hearings, Resolution 10, Series 2019, NEVA.
All right, good evening. The city has received an application from Clint and Frida Watson for a conditional use permit to construct an oversized garage on property located at 1718 Center Street. This property consists of lots 5 through 7 in the Cottonwood Knoll subdivision. The Watsons are proposing to install a 30 by 40, 1,200 square foot garage on the eastern portion of their property. And when the aerial comes up on the TV, you can see that the eastern portion is the rear of their lot. The lot size is just over 20,000 square feet, and if this structure is approved, the build-out would be 17% of lot coverage, which is well under the 40% maximum allowed lot coverage within the R1 zoning district. The applicant's narrative states that the garage is intended for personal storage. There are no water or sewer tap hookups. The attached dimensions sketch plan depicts the location of the proposed structure. However, in that SketchUp, the applicants were actually proposing a garage double the size. So this has been cut in half. The structure will meet the setback requirements in the R1 zone. The Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed this project on April 2nd and unanimously voted to recommend approval to the City Council. So this is a conditional use permit because in our land use code considers this an oversized structure, meaning it's over 800 square feet and over 33% of the size of the main house. So as I said, the structure will meet all of our R1 setbacks. The application went out for review to all of the utilities and affected agencies, and there were no concerns with this. On the aerial, you can see that there are overhead power lines that bisect the lots there, and this will be at least 26 feet away from the overhead power lines, and Empire Electric, a representative from Empire Electric did go out and check it out to make sure that the garage can be constructed and vehicles can pass underneath without an issue for those lines. So overall, staff does believe that this accessory structure will meet all of the land use code criteria. Do you guys have any questions?
Council, any questions?
Yeah, it says here Empire Electric's comment, it says, I think it will be fine, but I do want to look at the clearance of the power lines. I'm sorry, Neva, did you just say they did that?
Yeah, they did that. This follow-up comment on the next page said, we checked the overhead line clearance. We'll be okay.
Oh, got it, sorry.
Yeah, that's on page 4.
Thank you, sorry.
Yeah.
I have no further questions.
I don't have any.
Is anybody else? All right, at this time, I'm going to open this up to a public hearing. If anybody would like to speak for or against this permit. Seeing nobody make a comment at this time, if there are no other questions, may I have a motion?
I'll make a motion approving resolution number 10, series 2019, approving a conditional use permit to allow the construction of an oversized accessory structure on property located at 1718 Center Street, submitted by Clint and Farrah Watson with the 3 conditions stated.
Second.
Lucero.
Aye.
Carlson. Aye. Keel.
Aye.
Betts.
Aye.
Noyes.
Aye.
Lady.
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye. Okay.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, the next item on the agenda is Resolution Number 11, Series 2019, approving a conditional use permit for property owned by Karen Kristen.
Okay. All right. David Schimberger, Director of the Cortez Community Garden Farm School and Artist Cooperative, LLC, has applied to the city for a conditional use permit to operate a community school at 105 North Sligo Street. And we currently know this as the Sky Art Studio. All schools require a conditional use permit to operate in any zoning district, so that's why we're hearing this today. There is no exterior construction plan for the building. However, there would be some interior reorganization happening inside the building. The Cortez Community Garden Farm School will be an educational facility and art venue and will offer its curriculum to the Cortez community. The school's mission is to teach and demonstrate the holistic principles and art forms of the following 10 academic areas of study, and I've listed them in the report. The building will contain 4 residential dormitories, a spa, a retail gallery, workshop studios, workshop space, a kitchen, and an indoor gardening room. And the outdoor space will contain parking and various garden spaces. And in your packet, there are depictions of the interior and exterior space. So the land use code outlines the off-street parking requirements for a facility of this nature. And so for schools, it's 2 spaces per 20 students. The building currently has 8 spaces on the north side of the building. The application does not have an estimate of the expected numbers of students enrolled, but this is unlike a traditional primary or college campus. So classes and attendees are expected to vary. As a conditional use, the planning department recommends reserving 4 spaces for the dorm residencies, leaving 4 spaces for class participants. If necessary, the applicant is willing to provide additional parking spaces. The existing parking lot has parking for over 20 vehicles. The proposed project will add landscaping in the form of edible beds and plantings throughout the site. And I estimated that there's at least close to 5,000 square feet or more of edible landscaping, including fruit trees. The project will include a blacksmith forge and a kiln, both of which are proposed uses inside of the building. And the applicant states that the forge and kiln will be designed to mitigate any impacts to the neighborhood. The hoop houses and garden and planting beds throughout the outdoor space can be considered accessory uses, and they will be integral to the mission and goals of the community school. The applicant does propose to have a composting site, and in order to do that, they must ensure that all the seed and fertilizer are stored in an enclosed structure. There are public services already available for the existing structure. However, our engineering department has recommended that they do a fixture count to ensure that with the additional watering for the garden spaces that the existing water tap will be enough for this site. The school hours are proposed to be between the hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. There's no proposed signage for the school at this point. However, any signs do come through the city for permitting. It did go out for review, and both our building official and our engineering department recommend that a full set of plans be turned in for this project. It won't go through a site plan review, but because of the interior remodeling, they will need to see that. And the applicants are working with both departments on that. Included in your packet, this project does meet several ongoing objectives and policies and goals from the comprehensive plan. This project was seen by the P&Z Commission on April 2nd and was recommended to forward for approval to City Council.
All right, council, does anybody have any questions?
I just want to go back to something you said. You said that they were required to submit a site plan by two departments?
They'll need a mechanical, an engineering plan, and architectural plans, yes.
But those departments don't have any issue with the conditional use permit being issued prior to those things being received?
Right, yeah, they'll still have to get a certificate of occupancy before they move in, and in order to do that, they'll have to go get approval from,
Excuse me.
from those two departments.
Any other questions?
I have none.
I don't have any.
All right. At this time, I'll open this to public hearing. Is there anybody that would like to speak for or against this conditional use permit? All right, see nobody step forward. If there aren't any additional questions or comments, may I have a motion, council?
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve resolution number 11, series 2019, approving a conditional use permit to establish a community school at property located at 105 North Sligo in the Commercial C zoning district, as submitted by Dr. David Schimberger, agent for owner Karen Kirsten, with 3 conditions.
I second that.
No, excuse me, Noyes?
Aye.
Keel?
Aye.
Betts?
Aye.
Levy?
Aye.
Carlson?
Aye.
Lucero?
Aye.
Sheik?
Aye. Okay, you've done the next step.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll look forward to your progress on this. Yes, yes, it will be. All right. The next item on the agenda has to do with Resolution 12, Series 2019, approving a conditional use permit for Goal Online Charter School. At this time, would any member of the council like to recuse themselves?
Honorable Mayor, I need to recuse myself on this matter.
Okay, Nita.
Okay. Amber DeCarly with the Law Office of Dustin R. Sparks LLC, representing the Goal Academy, has applied to the city for a conditional use permit to operate an online charter school at 2531 East Main Street. This location is zoned commercial highway and has an existing 5,000 square foot building on it. This site was formerly the location for the High Desert Head Start program, so this building did house a school before this. As I said in the last report, all schools require a conditional use permit to operate in all zoning districts. So there is no exterior construction plan for the building. Goal Academy is currently operating out of the site right now. Other uses in the area include a real estate office to the west, a restaurant to the east, and residential to the south. The use of the site as a school should not impact any service areas, especially since it was operating as a type of school previously, and they're not adding on to it. School hours are proposed to be between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. daily. The site has access from the frontage road off of Main Street, not directly off of Main Street. CDOT has no concerns with the proposal, and actually none of the agencies had concerns with the proposals. It does meet several educational goals in the comprehensive plan. The project was reviewed by P&Z on April 2nd and was recommended to forward to council for approval.
All right, council, are there any questions about this? It's a little bit confusing to me because they're getting a conditional use permit as a school, and yet it seemed like they kept saying, but we're not a school. And I realize they're not a school in the traditional sense, but for zoning purposes, we will consider them as a school.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, because, perhaps not all 84 students are showing up to campus every day, but there are students coming to the campus.
Well, and according to the diagram, there was space for counseling services. I'm assuming there was tutoring spaces. I'm assuming with computer stations. So.
Right, and the Journal did print a couple of articles highlighting the Goal Academy and showing that students are coming to the campus. So.
I just wanted to clarify that because it was, but it wasn't. And
if I could.
It sounds like it is.
Also throw something in. What this is it's a charter school authorized by another school district because it's primarily computer teaching methods. It's actually the same in some aspects as SWOS, and so it falls under the state definition of what is a school, and that's how it got into our definitions of what's required for as conditional use permit. So originally, they had given us a definition from the tax code that said schools are this. When we did some further research in the school laws, we found out that this type of charter school is indeed a school and so needed to have a conditional use permit. The article Neve is talking about also, they said they were a school. They said they had spaces, and so when we researched, that's why we got to where we are.
Well, I just wanted to clarify that because it was yes, no, yes, no. So the answer is yes.
Yes.
All right. At this point, I'd like to hearing. Is there anybody that would like to speak for or against this conditional use permit? If you state your name and address, please.
My name is Ryan Matthews. I'm representing Goal tonight. Our current facility is 2531 East Main Street in Cortez. I just want to clarify, the biggest thing is that we can't require students to be on campus as a normal school. Like, we can't even require them or request that they're there. It's optional, and some students do come in for services, but we cannot actually require their attendance. So that's kind of the biggest difference.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you. I know it's a little bit, yeah. We're an approved alternative school district, so it's...
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, any others? In that case, I'll close the public hearing, and if there are no other questions...
One more.
Oh.
Mike, just clarification again. They do meet the statutory definition of school. All right, thank you.
Okay. If there are no other questions, then may I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 12, series 2019. Council to approve resolution number 12, series 2019, approving a conditional use permit to establish an online charter school, Goal Academy, as submitted by Amber DeCarly with the Law Office of Dustin R. Sparks, authorized representative for Goal Academy with 2 conditions.
Second.
Betts?
Aye.
Noyes?
Aye.
Lucero?
Aye.
Carlson?
Aye.
Levy?
Aye.
Sheik?
Aye. There you go. Andy, could you tell Ty he can come back in?
I think,
Oh.
you might bring you better get the law.
Yeah. Maybe we need a little bench out there so that they don't have
I
to
like
walk so far
a
down.
box, like a penalty
It's a
box.
bad boy bench.
Page 1, no, page 98. 98. Okay.
You're in roll.
All right, the next item for public hearing is Resolution 13, Series 2019, that has to do with an amended plat. Neva.
All right. Okay. The city has received an application from Ernie Manus, representing property owners Thomas and Martha Irvine, requesting a plat amendment for tracts G and H of the Montview Addition subdivision. So this subdivision is on the dirt road, kind of up near Carpenter. Well, actually, right adjacent to Carpenter, natural area. The property owners have requested to remove the lot line between tracts G and H to create 2.6 acre lots, and they also have requested to adjust the northern and western property lines to align with an existing fence line between the Irvin property and the city-owned Carpenter natural area property. So each adjustment gives the city a couple hundred square feet, and the Irvins a couple hundred square feet in the city's favor for that adjustment. There are no new easements proposed, and the plat amendment will not affect any existing easements. There are also no new ingress and egress points proposed for the plat amendment. Tracy Hughes did speak to council about this on January 8th of 2019 for a workshop, and council did want to move forward with this boundary adjustment between the city and the Irvin's property. Well, that's really all I have for this.
You sure?
All right, are there any questions, council?
No, I don't see it.
I have none. Thanks.
All right. In that case, I will open this up for public hearing. Is there anybody that would like to speak for or against the amendment of this plan? All right, close the public hearing. If there are no other questions or comments, may I have a motion?
I make a motion that we consider approving Resolution Number 13, Series 2019, approving an amended plat of tracts G and H of the Montview Addition subdivision as submitted by Ernie Manus, authorized representative for the owners Thomas and Martha Irvin, with 2 conditions.
Second.
Carlson?
Aye.
Levy?
Aye.
Noyes?
Aye.
Keel?
Aye.
Lucero?
Aye.
Betts?
Aye.
Sheik?
Aye.
I have a question. Who's going to prepare the deed?
You are.
Okay, I mean, is there going to be a surveyed legal description? Because Irvins, if they're given land to the city, are going to have to convey it. Just moving the line on a plat doesn't automatically convey it.
No, I think some of that's on the plat already.
Pardon?
I think some of the legal descriptions for the adjustments are on the plat, the amended plat.
I didn't see, in other words, you have to have certain language in a deed to convey it, and that's what I would be looking for, is a deed from Irvins to the city.
Is this something that we should have brought up prior to us making a motion on, Mike?
No, it's just I was wondering who was preparing the deed. I mean, that's the normal way you do a boundary adjustment, is people deed the land, because then there's a chain of title. The plats don't always do it properly. Mr. Manus likes to do it that way, but I can't say that it's the right way.
Okay.
If we need to do a deed, I can get it done. It's not that big a deal. I just need a legal description.
Okay, I have the legal description.
If you can send that to me, we'll get a deed done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is it on page 108 that you gave to us? The legal?
The legal, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
page 108.
Copy and paste.
Thanks, Neva.
All right.
I can get you a copy you can actually read.
That's why he has that big iPad. He can make it bigger.
Julie will appreciate that.
All righty, we have no unfinished business, so moving on to new business. NEVA, appointments to the Cortez Historic Preservation Board.
All right, last one. Okay, so there are, the council appoints the members of the Historical Preservation Board, and Patricia Lacey term has expired. The Montezuma Historical Society has recommended her as their representative to the board. And she's currently serving as the chairperson for the board and would like to renew her term. Additionally, our Realtor representative, Terry McCabe, has expressed interest in resigning from the board, and Cody Wells would like to serve on the board, and he is also in the real estate business. So he's submitted a letter of interest and would like to be appointed to the board. Patricia Lacey has passed all the required background checks. Cody Wells hasn't gone through that process, but I figured we should have, council approval before we go into that.
Cool. All right, any questions about this, council?
I have none, Neva, thank you.
May I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to consider the appointment of Cody Wells to replace Terry McCabe and the reappointment of Patricia Lacey to the Cortez Historical Preservation Board.
I second that.
Lady,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Carlson,
Aye.
Lucero,
Aye.
Betts,
Aye.
Noyes,
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye. Thank you, Neva.
Thanks, Neva.
Thank you.
All right, Phil, 2-hour parking on North Washington Street.
I'm ready this time. Good evening, everybody. We spoke about this at the last work session in March. It was a request from the fire department to have their 3 spots that are adjacent to the new fire station number 1 on North Washington be designated as 2-hour parking because they're getting filled up over the whole day and none of their customers are able to access them. As we discussed, this is actually within the central business district and has 2-hour designated parking and is patrolled accordingly. It's just that it hasn't been designated. So I'm requesting that you approve that I can restrict those 3 spots that are specifically adjacent to the fire department on North Washington.
The only thing we need to do according to section 16.7 of the Cortez Municipal Code is a resolution authorizing that. So if you want to change the motion to authorize a resolution to designate the spots the way we do it.
Do we need to assign a number, like number 14?
We can do that.
Because I know they go sequentially, and we've got 13.
We don't need to assign the number if you just authorize the preparation of a resolution, because we also need to include the penalties for the parking in it.
Oh, okay.
The change or however, so it's enforceable.
Parking as requested by the Cortez Fire Protection District.
Second.
Aye.
Betts,
Aye.
Lady,
Aye.
Noyes,
Aye.
Lucero,
Aye.
Carlson,
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, the designation of 7th Street is a no-through truck traffic street.
Yes, we spoke about this at the last work session. I'll talk about the memo a little bit more because there are people in here that weren't there. 7th Street crosses the southern portion of the city, connecting South Broadway and East Main Street via South Sligo. There are multiple residential areas and potential for further development in this section of the city. In addition, 7th Street has 2 schools located along this corridor. Have this demarked in the mapping software industry as a no-through truck area. They do contact us from time to time to ask about designations within the city, and our GIS coordinator, Doug Roth, has taken care of that. I would just ask for you to, I make a motion, Mike, or is this make a motion to approve a resolution?
Traffic code, which is what covers this, which we adopt every so many years, requires a resolution restricting the use of, they call them highways instead of streets, but it's the same thing. And so we would just need to do a resolution designating 7th Street from South Broadway to Sligo to, you be designating Sligo as well, or just 7th Street?
Well, it connects, I mean, well, if we designate that as no through new truck traffic, I think it would be in the best interest of the drivers of trucks to let them know on South Sligo, actually, before they get down to a T intersection with no ability to turn around.
So we would designate 7th Street over to Sligo, South Sligo to Main as no through truck traffic. And again, the same procedure, we do a resolution for the mayor's signature.
Okay, are there any other questions?
Yeah, I was going to say, have we had troubles before with truck traffic through there?
Well, I have personally seen at least 2 gasoline trucks go through that area to get to Maine. We had an issue with a propane tank being parked down there, a truck, a 6,000 gallon propane truck just being parked down there in the residential area. So yes, although we have had some issues, I would like to make sure that we just don't have any bad issues given the, the density of the population in the school zones.
One of the sergeants actually conveyed what Phil was saying. Some fellow was going down Main Street, and as he put it, Siri said, turn left, and so he went down one of the northern streets to get over the 491. And another fellow, Siri told him to do a U-turn on Main Street, so he did with a 45-foot trailer before the turn was replaced. So it's the computers. We also need some signs.
Well, I know there've been problems in the past when we had that construction going on where some of them were wanting to turn down Ash.
Right.
And there were citizens that were concerned about that. I travel 7th a lot, and I would really prefer not to see big, heavy trucks on it. I think to me, that road's not a good place for those kinds of vehicles, so. All right, are there any other questions or comments?
Then, would this have any effect then in the future, as, when we had the meeting as far as moving 7th Street all the way through? I know that was part of an issue, you thought about, then that would make it be, more trucks would be more acceptable to going all the way through on 7th using it as a bypass. So this will help to alleviate any of that. I mean, if something were to go through in the future.
Yes.
On the east side is what you're thinking? Okay. Well, coming from a truck driver's point of view, if they're looking at Siri and all of that stuff, signs might not help as much, but we give it a shot, right?
We can only do what we can do.
Some of them truckers.
Technology is great, but
We're having
sometimes
to the
you have to look out the windshield. All right, can I have a motion, please, of a resolution?
Be the same motion
Same.
as you did before.
All right, I would make a motion to authorize a resolution to designate 7th Street and South Sligo to Main as a no-through truck traffic street.
I'll second it.
Lucero,
Nay.
Carlson,
Aye.
Keel,
Nay.
Betts,
Aye.
Noyce,
Nay.
Levy,
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye. All right. Okay, professional services contract for hydraulic modeling calibration services.
Thank you. Whenever the case is brought professional services agreements to the council, it's generally after a bidding period. And the reason I'm bringing a professional services agreement before the council, recommending a firm that the project was not bid out for, was because of all the legwork that went into getting the original project done. And the company that I'm proposing that this happens with is SGM, and the work is hydraulic modeling calibration services. So it's very detailed engineering and a lot of background that has to go into completing a task like this. We completed it in 2016 with SGM and city staff. One of the recommendations as a part of that is regular recalibration of the model depending on conditions or age of the model, or if we make any changes. This year we're making several changes. One is we're slip lining the transmission line under Highway 145. We're completing a loop completion from East Empire north to Golf Course Lane, and also, the water dock is not really going to be a hydraulic model issue. It's more about age of water thing. So once we get this work completed, we want to engage SGM again to recalibrate the model, do some on-site field testing with our people, and then provide training for the WaterCat software that we actually will be utilizing the model in. So the original effort that we did this was in 2016 was just over $60,000. And this work that I'm proposing to be done is at not to exceed a number of $13,540, and it will not happen until after the transmission project is completed, so we look at the flow profile of the city and it's accurate. So it would kick off in late June and would be finished in August.
Any questions?
At the bottom of their letter, Phil, it says changes in scope requested by the city are due to circumstances beyond SGM's control may require additional budget. Is that just standard jargon?
That's...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just so I'm clear too, you said you didn't put it out to bid just because you had worked with this company before?
Well, and specifically on this model, and it's it would cost us twice as much to get a company up to speed with the data they have.
Right.
And so it's cost effective for us to engage with them.
Any other questions?
I have no further questions, thank you.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to approve the contract for hydraulic modeling calibration services with
second it.
SGM Incorporated for hydraulic modeling calibration services in the amount of $13,540.
I second that.
Noyce,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Betts, Carlson,
Aye.
Levy,
Aye.
Lucero,
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil. We have no draft resolutions or ordinances, no other items of business at this time. Is there a citizen that would like to address the council? Okay. No citizen, no city attorney's report, city manager.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. The only thing I have to report tonight is we were this close to getting the 2016 audit out. Now we're this far. But we are getting close, and we're shooting for
Is that
Friday.
to scale?
Yes. Cassell did the download on Friday, sent it back to us on Monday. There was a problem on our end with the hardware. That's been straightened out. Kathy worked on it. Cassell is taking it back tonight, and then we're hoping to get it back early tomorrow, and Kathy will review what they've done, and should all be worked out, and we can send it to the auditors. Our goal is this Friday, but I will let you know in the weekly report whether that goal is met.
Great.
Not to jinx it, and knock on wood.
You almost hate to say anything, huh? All right,
Thanks, John.
keep your fingers crossed, everybody.
Oh, can I add also, the blank check you gave me for 2016 will not be used. They have agreed to stick within the 20 hours or the $3,500. They're already over 30 hours, and they're continuing to work for no cost to get 2016 done, so thank you
good.
for your support.
Right
That's
on.
good. That's
Thank
very
you.
good.
Good, we might get our money's worth after all.
Okay. City council committee reports. Has anybody been to a meeting?
I have one. I went to the Makeda, which might be the last Makeda meeting, but it's not completely done. Couple of things. First of all, they did return the dues that we had paid for this year, as well as 2 other members, leaving them with a whopping balance of $367.86. They are going to keep the bank account and the box open right now, but they did pull the Facebook. They are wanting to keep it going in some form or fashion, and they've discussed doing an advisory committee of what they're calling Montezuma stakeholders. These are people from various organizations and agencies that were involved in Makeda and would still continue to be involved in economic initiatives as well as presentations and things of that sort. The gal from, and I'm blanking on her name right now, the gal from Region 9 was there presenting today.
Laura.
Yes, Laura, and she actually took suggestions on topics that we would like to see. They are utilizing the Dolores State Bank East Branch for meetings on Thursdays. And so there is still...
Every Thursday they'll be there.
My understanding is, yes, every Thursday, they are doing that. They're also partnering with the SBDC to do that. I asked just kind of what kind of things do you do there, and she said that they would still be assisting with loans to clients, technical assistance, communicating with governments regarding a business's desires, and also incentives. They did do some brief discussion about the proposed convention center / event center, and Patrick Rondinelli from DOLA was brought in to kind of give some discussion and start the conversation about applying for planning grants and doing a feasibility study. Greg Kemp also talked really briefly about talking with the commissioners regarding sort of reigniting the internet project. And he didn't really go into too much detail on that, but there was also a timber company called Ironwood that is partnering with the Forest Service, and if you know anybody who can make use of logs that are less than 10 inches in diameter, they are actually getting rid of them. They want people to come and use them for business purposes. I'm not entirely sure who you would contact, but I think if you contacted Region 9, if that was something that you had a business owner that could utilize that slough off that they're doing the forest clearing to try and do the fire mitigation. They want people to utilize
Is
it.
it just for businesses or could it apply to?
You know, I'm not sure. They talked about it from a business perspective. They talked about, using it to make pellets or different things like that. But I would definitely contact Region 9 if you have someone who is interested in doing that. And, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, is it pine, is it aspen?
They didn't go into specifics, and I will be the first to tell you, I'm not a aficionado of different types of forestry woods, so I will remain silent on that. They also did talk about some other initiatives that they're going to be pushing through Region 9, including they're developing a program for Native American entrepreneurs, that's through Wells Fargo, as well as they went to do a presentation for citizens on the Opportunity Zone credits, which are applicable in tribal lands and Dolores County, and then the Enterprise Zone credits, which they said works for any business in Montezuma County, any business, regardless of the style of business. And then they just mentioned 3 upcoming events. I don't have the dates on 2. They're having the Women's Conference in Durango. They're also having the Outdoor Recreation Conference here, May 21st. And then there's something called the PTEC Conference, which is sometime at the end of the summer, but I didn't get the specific date. And that was the technically last meeting of McKega.
Was it well attended?
Yeah, it actually was. There was a good representation. There was Madonna was there from the tribe, and Haley was there from the hospital, and yeah, it was a pretty good turnout. So.
Something that was in your packets about serving on boards and voting. Sorry. There was something put in your packets that you should all read about serving on boards and voting, and when you should recuse yourself and when you should not. It was very interesting. There's a couple changes in the state code of ethics, and it requires you, even if you don't have to recuse yourself, to tell us that you're on the board of directors for another organization, and you might or might not have to recuse yourself from voting city business about that organization. It was really good for John to put that in the packets, because it's a possible conflict of interest place that we need to pay attention to a little more.
Okay. Any other committees?
Yeah, so I attended 2 this last Friday. First one was the Parks and Rec Advisory Board, and basically what we did was judge the Arbor Day posters from the local schools, including Mancus and Dolores schools, and we had the members of the advisory board doing the judging, and we were joined by 2 members of the Cortez Youth Commission who helped us judge. There had many talented children, their posters and poems. It was a hard choice, but we narrowed it down to a Grandmaster winner, and each school had first and second place winners. It will be announced at the Arbor Day celebration, which is April 25th, and at the Park DeVita Amphitheater, adjacent to the Rec Center, from 12:30 to 2 p.m. The city will be purchasing water bottles this year instead of T-shirts for the 4th grade students and their teachers. I think John has one of the water bottles that's going to be given out to the children. It's got the Cortez logo on it, water. And that was basically what we did at the Parks and Rec meeting. I also attended the Cortez Cultural Center meeting. We had many items to be discussed. I narrowed it down maybe 4. On the 27th of April, there will be the Pueblo race. It'll be a 5K, half marathon, and a bike race, and that'll be on the 27th of April. And see, there's still some volunteers needed if anyone is interested in spending some time directing traffic and helping out there. The Birding Festival is on May 8th to 12th. 16 of the tours have been sold out, and there's still 2 tours that are available if anyone wants to join this birding group they'll be on Saturday and Sunday. See, on the May 18th, the Historic Preservation Main Street Walking Tour will begin at 10 a.m. That'd be a great thing if you have some time off that day. And the last thing was Paul Beckler was admitted as a board member. He's a local businessman, works in real estate right now. He's a good friend of mine. That's it.
All right. Well, does anybody else have anything? Oh, I guess I have to do the workshop. We had a discussion on conservation budget. Phil asked the council to please give him approval to increase the budget for this water conservation program that we're launching. A substantial amount of the funds that he'll be using will be funds that he'll be able to get through water conservation grants, and so we did give our blessing for him to go ahead and do that. Lori Hall came to make a funding request on behalf of the food pantry, And council asked if it would be possible for us to table that, to give us a little bit more time to evaluate that. Then we had a really great discussion presentation on water-wise landscape horticulture for Western Landscapes by Annie Barrow and by Ross. I can't never remember Russ's last name. Shribley, who is from Plant Select. And basically, it was the same presentation that was made for the public last night. There was a discussion on a possible EV charging station to be located at the Welcome Center. Osprey is willing to make a contribution for installation. There are some grant funds available, and so we gave staff the go-ahead to pursue that. Is there anything else for the good of the cause?
There's one more event that's coming up this weekend that I just want to make aware of. I'm not actually involved, but I always love when our youth do things here to show off their talents. There's the Montezuma's Got Talent competition at the high school gym on Friday night. It's a fundraiser for the Pleasant View Elementary School. And I don't know if you remember Jerry, the old guy from the Bardi Wranglers, but he's the celebrity judge, which I think will be a lot of fun. So I believe it's $5 for kids and $10 for adults, and all the proceeds go to Pleasant View Elementary.
Okay.
So if you want something to do on Friday night, there's something to do.
At what time?
I believe it's at 7 o'clock.
7, okay. Okay, great.